From Neural Newscast, this is Nerfed, where games, culture, and strategy intersect.
Nerfed, the Xbox Reset. I'm Vanessa Calderon.
And I am Marcus Shaw. Today is July 10th, 2026, and the industry just felt a Richter scale shift. If you thought the consolidation era was messy, wait until you see the reset era.
Seriously, Marcus, Xbox leader Asha Sharma just dropped a bombshell email on Xbox Wire this morning that has everyone reeling. They are cutting 3,200 jobs across the division, and half of those departures are happening today. But the real shocker is that they are essentially breaking up the band they spent billions to assemble. We are seeing a massive divestment strategy where Double Fine and Compulsion Games are actually going back to being independent studios. They are taking their intellectual properties like Psychonauts and South of Midnight with them as they walk out the door. It feels less like a strategic layoff and more like a corporate divorce where the kids actually get to keep their toys for once.
It is absolutely wild to watch this play out in real time. We're hearing that Ninja Theory and Undead Labs are also being moved to new, currently unnamed owners, while Arcane Leon seems to be stuck in a frustrating state of consultation limbo. The numbers behind this are staggering. Eurogamer is reporting that Microsoft was losing roughly 64 cents for every dollar invested in some of these smaller experimental studios. Sharma was very blunt in the memo, calling the current business model not healthy, and pointing the finger directly at the ongoing hardware crisis. But what caught my eye was the surgical strike on the hierarchy. Seeing 14 layers of middle management get nuked in a single afternoon? That is some serious corporate pruning, Vanessa.
The collateral damage on the ground is just heavy, though. ZeniMax Online lost 213 people, which is basically gutting the core team that keeps Elder Scrolls Online running. They have already had to issue a statement to fans warning that their content roadmap is shifting significantly. It is a harsh reminder that you cannot continue to build these massive digital worlds when a third of the architects are suddenly gone. The community is understandably nervous because when the roadmap shifts in this industry, it usually means the content is getting scaled back or delayed indefinitely.
Even id Software wasn't safe from the blade. Reports are filtering out that nearly 50% of the staff there are out, which is heartbreaking for a studio with that kind of legacy. Even John Carmack chimed in on social media today. He said he wasn't necessarily outraged, just deeply sad, noting that at the end of the day, even the most beloved games have to turn a profit to survive. It is a cold, hard reality check for the studio that literally invented the first-person shooter genre. If id Software is facing cuts this deep, it sends a message that no one is untouchable in this new Xbox ecosystem.
Speaking of realities, we need to talk about what is happening at Obsidian. Bloomberg is reporting that they are officially scrapping the sequel to Avowed, a game that is not even out yet, just to pivot the entire studio onto a new Fallout project. Apparently, Bethesda is stepping in to help out with assets, and the big news is that Josh Sawyer is leading the charge on this one. It feels like Microsoft is desperately trying to course correct by leaning into their biggest, most reliable hits.
Wait, the new Vegas director is back on Fallout? That is the ultimate break glass in case of emergency move for Xbox, Marcus. They clearly saw the massive cultural footprint of the Fallout TV show and realized they simply cannot afford to wait until 2030 for Bethesda to finish the Elder Scrolls 6 before getting another fix of the Wasteland. They need a heavy hitter now, and putting Sawyer in the driver's seat is the fastest way to get the core fans back on their side. It is a calculated gamble, but it shows just how much pressure they are under to deliver a massive hit.
It is a smart pivot, even if it feels a bit desperate given the timing. But while Xbox is shedding weight and trying to find its footing, PlayStation is busy setting its own house on fire. They made a massive announcement regarding their long-term hardware strategy, specifically a plan to completely stop manufacturing physical discs by 2028. As you can imagine, the internet reacted extremely poorly to the news.
Poorly is a massive understatement, Vanessa. That post on X hit 155 million views in record time. For some perspective, the original GTA 6 trailer hit about 45 million in its first day. People are genuinely terrified of losing their physical libraries and the ability to actually own the things they pay for. DualShockers pointed out that the announcement post was community noted 13 times in just 5 days, correcting Sony's claims about digital ownership and longevity. It is a ratio for the history books and a PR nightmare that they clearly didn't anticipate being this volatile.
I totally get the frustration, Marcus. Even if 80% of the player base is already buying digital, that remaining 20% who love their physical shelves and their resale rights are the most dedicated fans you have. They are wowed, they are angry, and they aren't going to just fade away quietly. It is an incredibly bold and risky move for Sony to make right now, especially when they are still trying to sell us on the idea that a digital-only future is more convenient for the consumer rather than just being more profitable for the corporation.
While the giants are fighting, Ubisoft is actually having a surprisingly good week, which feels like a rare occurrence lately. Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced just launched, and it is performing way above expectations. It peaked at nearly 100,000 concurrent players on Steam alone. That is a new series record for them, blowing past the launch numbers of both Shadows and Odyssey. It seems like the demand for a polished, classic pirate experience was much higher than anyone realized.
It turns out everyone just really wants to be a pirate again. IGN gave the remake a 9 out of 10, praising the ocean tech and the combat refinements. The most telling stat, though, is that it has already outsold the lifetime sales of Skull and Bones in its opening weekend. Now, let us be honest, that is a pretty low bar to clear, but a win is a win for Ubisoft right now. They needed this momentum to prove that their core franchises still have that massive pulling power when they are executed correctly.
And finally, we have to look at Rockstar. They are squeezing one more massive drop out of GTA Online before the transition to GTA 6 begins in earnest. The Court Center heist is scheduled to drop on July 14th. The community has been going crazy over the trailer, spotting hidden paintings in the gallery that referenced Roman's death from GTA 4, and even the Ludendorff Church from the prologue of 5. It feels like a massive greatest hits victory lap for a game that has defined the last 2 console generations.
It's a lot to process for 1 week. From the identity crisis currently unfolding at Xbox to Sony's digital crusade, the entire industry feels almost unrecognizable compared to where we were just 7 days ago. But at the very least, we have pirates and high-stakes heists to keep us busy while the corporate dust settles.
I'm Marcus Shaw.
And I am Vanessa Calderon. Neural Newscast is AI-assisted, human-reviewed. View our AI transparency policy at neuralnewscast.com. Check us out at Nerfed.ai. Thanks for listening to Nerfed.
This has been Nerfed on Neural Newscast, where games, culture, and strategy intersect.